From Fort Worth, Texas to Phoenix, Arizona, just 2 races remain in this NASCAR 2009 season. Trackside Live is in the Valley of the Sun.
Welcome to the Valley of the Sun, just southwest of the city of Phoenix, Arizona. This beautiful oval has played host to some great racing battles, both open wheel and NASCAR, since 1988.
Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy, but the nighttime is the right time.
Right now, we already have shade over turn 1 and 2, 3 and 4 is in the sunlight. 3 and 4 will get that shade, it'll make a change, and then we get into the nighttime, which is the right time. That's when these minds on pit road, the crew chiefs, they've got to be on their game.
Beautiful sunset, as most of them are here in Phoenix, Arizona. Trackside Live with a tremendous Arizona crowd. Jeff Hammond, Larry McReynolds, Steve Burns, and Elliott Sadler. Ryan Newman, one of our guests, as is David Rudiman. So glad you guys are with us, and I'm actually suddenly sad now that the sun is setting here and on our 2009 season.
You said 2 races left. It's only 2 shows left.
But no, you know what?
No,
there's
3 shows left.
There's actually 3 shows left.
3 shows left.
Because we have a special edition on Saturday night. We thought,
Aren't they all?
I'm talking about Friday night.
we thought the sun was setting on the 2009 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Championship, and lap 3 at Texas completely changed the complexity. I think it's safe to say that Rick Hendrick can go ahead and get his tux. He will be the championship car owner, but this is what happened on lap 3 at Texas last week. And now all of a sudden, Jimmy Johnson's teammates, Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon, they're all within 112 points of each other.
Well, I was one of the guys that sat right here on this show last week and's like, it's over with, you know, carved the trophy. No idea, nobody really saw this coming. It is a close race now. I still think he's the guy to beat, but he really has to race there, guys. Going to here at Phoenix, he's good at this racetrack, but really so is Mark Martin, one of the best average finishers of everybody in the field. And Jimmy hadn't run that great at Homestead the last couple of years either.
He hasn't had to, though.
He hasn't had to. In a little bit different situation this time.
It may be a different situation, but guys, I think one thing we don't need to overlook is the outstanding job that Chad Knaus and everybody on that 48 team did when everything hit the wall back there on the backside. I thought maybe their day was totally done. But they put that car back together. They understood what was at stake. They went out. They got every point possible. And in the end, those points that they gathered at Texas, 15 points could come into play before the end of this thing. Because, Larry, we've all seen it, Steve, along with Elliott. Sometimes this thing can be settled by as little as 8 points.
Yep.
So it's not over by a long shot, but those guys could have went a long ways to making sure that they're wind up doing the 4th championship by the extra work and the extra effort. Because, I mean, not only a new body, but they had to take that thing, strip it all the way down, and replace all the front suspension, a lot of the rear end. I mean, it was just an outstanding job by that number 48 team.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look.
It ain't over till we say it's over.
That's right. Let's take a look at the point standings brought to you by Wrangler, because with 2 races remaining, Elliott, it has gotten a lot tighter at the top. We thought, like you said, Jimmy Johnson had it wrapped up, but now it's 73 points.
Well, I'll tell you one cool thing that you see Jimmy Johnson, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, all Hendrick guys at the top. But watching somebody from Jeff Gordon's pit crew last week work on the 48 car, the car chief, Jason Burdett, guys like that, that shows you what kind of mentality and what kind of organization Rick Hendrick runs over.
That's why that organization is so successful. You can talk about horsepower, aerodynamics, pit stops. It's the people working together.
And better news for Jimmy Johnson today here in qualifying, guys. He will start in row number 2.
And Chad Knaus told me that even though starting 12th is not a bad position to start in like they did at Texas, but he blamed a lot of their problems on lap 3 where they started.
How many times has he said it? The weekend begins on Friday, and Chad has said it over and over and over. My job is to get that car in the top 10.
Well, it makes it easier for you. I mean, number one, it gives you a better pit selection. It gives you an opportunity to go out and lead a lap early on, get those bonus points. Because, again, that was another one of those weeks, 2 weeks in a row. Jimmy Johnson did not score any bonus points. So those kind of things start to add up. And Chad Knaus, being basically a statistician, a strategist. I mean, being a wizard in a lot of different ways. He knows what it takes to win a championship.
We have time for Alan Gustafson and now Steve Letarte. We smell a little blood in the water now, a little chink in the armor. Take some chances, lead some laps, and fuel strategy. They got to do everything they can to close that gap before we get to Homestead.
Is this a good track to do that? In terms of strategy, taking a shot?
Definitely, it is, because track position is very important, especially the day race here in Phoenix is a lot harder to pass. Track position means a lot more, especially with the double file restarts. They definitely can take a little bit more chances now because they know they got that chance. Maybe the 48's on the heels a little bit. We're not really sure, but they got to take advantage of any kind of situation.
We talked about it today. It's really a short race. Only 312 laps, not a lot of pit stops, not a lot of opportunities to adjust on that race car.
Steve, he brought it out. Don't forget, here in the spring, no double file restart like we have now.
Oh.
This is the first time here at Phoenix, and it could weigh in very heavily in the end result.
I like it. I like what you're cooking. I like it.
I do. I smell it. I'm smelling good.
Love it. Great show tonight. Coming up, David Rudiman, but straight ahead, Ryan Newman joins us here on Trackside Live. Stay with us here in Phoenix.
Trackside is presented by new Shell nitrogen-enriched gasolines, brought to you in part by Copart.com, an online auto auction where you control the price you want to pay. Go to Copart.com today, and by Camping World RV Rentals. Ask about the NASCAR Fan Special, seasonal one-way rental starting at $9.95 per day.
Ryan Newman made his first NASCAR Sprint Cup Series start at this racetrack back in 2000. Since then, he's taken 45 pole positions and made a victory lane 13 times. Welcome the driver of the United States Army Chevrolet for Stewart Haas Racing, Ryan Newman.
That's a golf clap.
I saw that. I saw that. Looked nice. Yeah, good form. And you had one above the other, so you get the full effect of the.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was good.
How are you?
I'm all right.
How was qualifying?
Not the greatest. We didn't have the run that we wanted to, but I think our car will be good. It's a car we've had at Richmond, and I think it allowed as well. So it's run well. Just didn't run well today.
Ryan, you guys actually had some breaking news today, some sponsorship information.
Did we?
I heard. I was watching TV.
No, we have some information that's coming about tomorrow, and that involves tornadoes. So that's that I'm excited about. And I know you guys don't very often skip a meal. Maybe you, Elliot.
No, I don't
during hunting
really
season.
skip a lot.
But got some boxes of. It's a cool little snack and a meal at the same time. Ready in under a minute or a minute. But
so they're going to be a
breakfast, lunch, dinner.
They're going to be a primary
I can't
sponsor.
tell you that.
Oh, you haven't. Oh, you haven't
I'm just
spilled
saying
the beans.
that's why I'm wearing the shirt. It's coming. It's coming
like
out
a
tomorrow.
preload.
But
Announcements tomorrow.
But didn't U.S. Army announce that?
The U.S. Army announced that
Yes,
they'll be there
they're
for
coming
15
back.
races next year. Yeah,
15
that's.
races.
I'm not completely stupid.
No. I got a lot of things happening. So.
You
I
got
got
a full
boxes.
plate.
I got.
You
We
do.
read
You
this
got
stuff
shirts.
they
You
send
got a
out.
lot
Believe
going
it or
on.
not, we read it. We pay attention.
Tom, I appreciate that.
Okay. Now, can we
kill two birds with one stone right there.
Can we go ahead and solicit to be able to get these installed here on Trackside?
If there's any left after Rutledge has been back there.
Well,
Good
that
point.
pretty much,
Good point.
pretty much ends that deal right there. But
point.
what I mean, again, a lot of times, Larry and Steve and myself, we're so busy covering all the practices and things.
Ready in under a minute.
That's what I
Breakfast,
say.
lunch, dinner, and
It's
dessert.
perfect. We come in.
It's perfect for you.
Crack of the dawn.
Elliot,
dawn, we
perfect
can
during
have
hunting
some.
season.
Oh.
It
Yeah.
works out really good. So, I mean, I really appreciate you kind of thinking about us.
I'm glad he brought two then. He could give me that one. So
I
can have
think
both of them.
I think we might have some.
You know what? You're starting to act more and more like Darrell Waltrip every day.
Hey.
Huh? It's a chair, huh?
It must be the chair. All right, back to some serious stuff. You know, one thing I picked up on, Ryan, is 8 or 9 years ago, you made your very first career Sprint Cup Series start here. You qualified 10th.
Yep.
294 starts, as Steve mentioned, 45 poles, 13 wins. You won the Sprint All-Star race in 2002. And a lot of people forget the fact that you beat Jimmy Johnson for that 2002 Rookie of the Year. Not a bad ride for Ryan Newman.
No, we've done well, and I'm proud of all those stats. And you know, several people work so hard just to get their first win and to achieve the things that I have. I'm excited, but you know, we're still looking for that first win this year, this week with the U.S. Army Chevrolet, and we've been close, as we've talked about here, I think, the last time, but we just got to keep doing our thing. That was a big day for me. I remember I started 10th. I started it outside of Bobby Labonte, who was the points leader, and that was my only race ever with Big E, which meant a lot to me, because that was, he's one of my heroes growing up. And we had we caught a windshield tear off right smack on the grill, and we had a brake problem, and I remember that, and that ended our day. But it was a tough day, but it was a good day.
You were speaking about this year. I saw last year when you did this deal with Tony, you told Tony Stewart, I just want to have fun. I want to have fun and race. Has this year been that way?
It's been a lot of fun. Obviously, Tony's had more fun than I have. He stood in victory lane more often. But just in general, the things that we've accomplished as a team, as a new group, with Tony Gibson and all the guys, it's been a lot of fun. They're not weapons. They're to eat. It's been a lot of fun. The guys have done a great job mechanically, and today was a rough day for us. We just didn't hit on it. But as yourself, that it's this car. It seems like it's sensitive. You either get it right, and if you don't, you're out there. And we just missed it today. But
when you come back here, like Larry said, your first race was here at Phoenix. But you've run some open wheel stuff here at Phoenix, right?
Yes.
So that's the reason why you guys chose to come to Phoenix to run the first race here, because you knew the racetrack and felt more comfortable here?
It was partially that. I mean, I had great experiences here. I had never won here. I've run second. I think in '99 I won second in both parts of the Copper World in the midget and Silver Crown Series, and ironically to Tony Stewart in the midget race. But coming back, it was a little bit about where we were, but it was also about timing. I had run some and won some in the ARCA Series with Penske, and timing-wise, we had the opportunity to come here to a track that I was certified to come to, being a mile racetrack, and have my first shot here. So it was a good experience to be able to get through that next off season. And then we showed up at our second race, my second race ever in the Cup Series at Charlotte, and won the pole and led some laps. So. And I think my third race was my first top 5. So we achieved a lot of great things in a short time.
I also remember a race you sat on the pole at Lowe's. I don't think y'all realized how much that track changed from nighttime to daylight.
Well, we were all rookies. I mean, I spun out leading the thing at 11 laps in. I mean, I was just trying too hard, but that's I haven't done that since. So I've learned.
Learn from it.
Happened to you once, not your fault. It happened to you twice, nobody's fault.
Shame on you. Yep.
Same old crew chief.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they blame the first to blame. He points his finger and he blames all at the same time.
More with Ryan Newman coming up. We want to remind you to locate campgrounds near the Homestead Miami Speedway. Visit GoRVing.com. You'll find virtual RV tours, a free DVD offer, an RV dealer, and rental locations in your area. More with Ryan and David Rudiman coming up. Well, what do you know? Ryan Newman brought the tornadoes. Guess who heated them up? Yep, our man Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Hope you enjoy our dinner.
Yeah. Way to go, buddy.
Appreciate that, Ryan. It's time now to open up the Shell garage and, well, Ryan Newman's going to talk about you. He said he knew it was coming.
Don't look.
Does it look any better now?
Look at Elliott with the save of the day right there.
Yeah, I was on the brakes. I felt sorry
I was
for
too.
you.
Did it work good, Ryan?
No, it shut the motor off. It did. I was upside down, and I was on the brakes so hard because I was going towards the inside wall.
Yeah.
Then I got hit, but I was on the brakes so hard as soon as after I got hit, it actually shut the motor off because.
Doesn't it get very quiet when you're upside down? You're not. The wheel,
Yeah, if you're not screaming, it's very quiet.
Yeah, not screaming.
Yeah.
Did you see the 29 car?
No, I couldn't even tell you I would hit him or he hit me or anything. I just didn't know that part.
I still have not had an opportunity to speak to Kevin Harvick about that, but I'm sure you have. What did Kevin think when he saw you, doing your pirouette in the middle?
I think his words were, "I was minding my own business and you landed on top of me." No, I went to him afterwards and talked to him a little bit, but just thanked him for, just like Elliott did. Thanked Elliott the same way. Thanks for hitting your brakes, because my cage, was hurting, and the last thing I wanted to be was hit in a situation like that. So, as drivers, we try to protect each other, even though we're aggressive. We try to protect each other when something like that happens, and I appreciate all the support that I got, even after everything was out of control.
That was the first thing I saw when we went to the inside, and I saw his roof numbers, and I'm thinking to myself, man, been there, done that. And when you start flipping back up through, man, I was just on the brakes going, man, I can't hit him while he's upside down. There's no, I got to do whatever I got to do not to hit you. But
some of the worst racing accidents ever of any driver getting injured is when a driver gets hit when he's upside down or a driver gets hit in the cage or something like that. And it's a direct shot. And I didn't order one of those, so I was happy I didn't get one.
Ryan, you were upside down, I think they said, for over 5 minutes. And I guess, thank goodness, the integrity of that car stayed intact. Once you realized, okay, I'm moving my fingers and my toes and I'm all right, what was your next train of thought?
Just to get out. I mean, I just really wanted to get out. And they were working on the car, and the guys did a good job. I haven't criticized them, but I just wanted to be able to learn from the experience and what we can do to make it better and quicker. If I had an injury, I was stuck upside down for a while. Blood was rushing to my head. One fellow that was in my driver's side, we stayed locked hand in hand, fist to fist, holding hands the entire time, so that he knew, with the exception of rolling the car over, so he knew that I was conscious. And you never think of things like that, but what could have been easier to get out of the car in a situation like that? I mean, when they flipped the car back over, there's a bunch of fuel that came out of the carburetor. What if that lit on fire? I still couldn't get out. So, we've talked to NASCAR a little bit about it, and just trying to make it better for the next driver. Hopefully not me, but for the next driver that it happens to.
Yeah, I think we need to explain that NASCAR's procedure is, once they determine the driver is not injured and there's not a fire, that the procedure is to get the car flipped back up on his wheels before they take the driver out. Ryan, I've been a part of NASCAR for almost 30 years, and I can't say that I've sat here for 30 years and agreed with everything they've done. Never have, never will if I'm here another 30 years. I have learned the hard way that a lot of times when you question what they're doing, that it actually is the right thing that works out. But you were very vocal coming out of the Infield Care Center, and I've got to say my opinion only, I didn't agree with telling drivers how they have to drive race cars at that race.
Well, and I agree with you, and I think that they felt that way, but they also felt that they needed to.
They were in a box.
Right, they were in a box, and I talked to John Darby and Robin Pemberton too, and it's not something they wanted to do, but they felt that was the best thing that they could do at the time. Every time we go to the racetrack, things change. Drivers change mentalities. We drove around in single file for quite a while like that. We have done that in the past, but this was a new record for single file mileage, and it's not great racing by any means. The fans were not enjoying it, and I know they weren't enjoying it because I didn't enjoy it. Because and it's our job as drivers to provide entertainment and race the best way we can, and that's not single file. So, I think that the bump drafting rule definitely had an effect on what you saw there. The two biggest crashes of the day happened to be on the straightaway where we could bump draft. And there's something to be said about that. So it's just it was a tough situation, and I got the brunt end of it, but I'm still here to talk about it.
All right, just real quick, moving ahead, we're going back to Talladega, and the banking's going to be the same.
Oh yeah.
In your opinion, what do we need to do?
First of all, keep the cars on the ground. We're in race cars, whether we're at Phoenix or Martinsville or Talladega, we're going to crash. We're going to have situations like that. But keep the race cars on the ground. That makes it safer, and that again protects the integrity of the roll cage, which is obviously what's around the driver's head. So do something to keep the car on the ground with the respect to the lift of the back of the car when it goes backwards, either with a wing combination or a wing combination with different roof flaps, additional flaps somewhere underneath the car on the sides of the car to keep the car on the ground. I mean, the discussion has been started, and I'm a part of that, and I'm glad to be a part of that. But ultimately, there's something that needs to happen. We saw two races there where cars between Carl Edwards and myself, we got turned around, turned upside down, and it was strictly air. I mean, there was you saw Carl's car there, but it was airborne and it was going airborne.
And
it started to come back down. Yeah, that was a hard hit as well. But his car started to come back down, but unfortunately, I picked the high line instead of the low line and kicked him up into the stands there. But it's just a combination of things. I don't think that there's any person that can say, I think this is the right thing or I think that's the right thing. Importantly, I think we all have to get together, get the best test analysis, the best things that we can do in a full-scale wind tunnel with the car to not create lift, so that we're making the right call for what we know, not what we think. That's my point.
You have been coming kind of like the poster child for highlight reels for Talladega. Is that one of the places? Is that one of the places now? It's just kind of like, does it make you think, man, I really don't look forward to going back there? I mean, you're good at speedway racing, but you hadn't had the luck.
I said that to somebody earlier, but I look forward to going back to Talladega. Not as much as I did, in this past race, but I still look forward to going back. I enjoy my job. I enjoy what I do. It's difficult. Don't get me wrong, because in that situation, we were kind of sitting ducks. Everybody was a sitting duck. It's just a matter of who was the unlucky duck, and it just happened to be me. And we sat in our meeting with Tony Stewart and the crew chiefs and stuff on Monday, and it's like, man, we just crashed and wasted a lot of money and valuable lives all on a straightaway, and we're better drivers than that. So there's changes that need to be made,
Because, I mean, that wreck started 4 cars, basically 4 cars behind you.
It was the accordion effect, and I was on the wrong note. I mean, that was the bottom line.
Hey, we'll have more with Ryan Newman with Trackside Live continues from the Phoenix International Raceway. Glad you're with us here on Speed. And don't forget, a little bit later on, David Rudiman joins us as well.
From each camera.
Really?
Trackside Live back at the Phoenix International Raceway. You just saw the trophy that the 2009 champion will pick up after next weekend's race in Homestead, Florida. We are back with Ryan Newman. And Ryan, I was at the airport in Charlotte yesterday, and I bought the magazine that had the 50 most beautiful people in NASCAR. If they expand it to 550, I think I have a shot. But in any case, there was a great article about your wife, and I didn't realize she was taking lessons to learn how to fly a helicopter.
Yeah, she's fully capable. She doesn't have her license yet, and we have a Bell 427, which she can get around pretty good. Actually, I think it started about 2 years ago here. We went looking at helicopters, and I flew with her for the first time then, and she pretty much impressed me. I was pretty surprised. It's something that I know it would take me more time to do than I think it's taught, or than it's been for her.
Speaking of flying around, I know you get to do a lot of cool stuff with the U.S. Army, but how about going to Fort Bragg and going to vertical wind tunnel? How cool was that?
That was really cool. Anybody that has the opportunity to do that, I've seen it done on Nitro Circus and things like that, but it's I mean, jumping out of a perfectly good airplane is questionable in some people's minds, but doing this, there's very little risk because you just go up and you're there, you're flying, and free falling, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, get to experience what obviously a lot of the soldiers get to experience, jumping out of an airplane and going into base or whatever. But it's wild because all your life you've known how to walk, but learning how to fly is totally different mechanics, but like biomechanics, what you have to do with your head and your arms and your feet. It took me about 3 times to be able to control my body and not
go head first.
It wasn't so much that as it actually gets spit off of it, which means you go off into where there is no air and you land pretty hard. So. It was pretty neat. I mean, going to Walter Reed is the most special thing because you get to visit and spend time with the Army soldiers. You've done that. I know you guys have been a part of that, and that's the most I guess heart-opening and tear-jerking experience you could have as anybody that's around any kind of Army soldier, any armed forces. Doing those fun things, I guess, is just a small part of being part of the Army. Being at Walter Reed and getting to visit those injured soldiers is really special.
Well, again, I think we talked the last time you're on here. I really respect you for spending time and taking time to do that because I think as you've already pretty much found out, the military, there's a lot of guys, especially in the Army, that love NASCAR racing. And so for you to take time to go spend time with them, it really means a lot to them. And that's the cool thing about it.
It does. I'm honored to be able to drive that race car and represent all the Army soldiers that represent what it is to be Army strong. And it's been a different experience. Every time you meet a different soldier or a colonel or a general, whatever, it's a different story, but every one of them makes you listen, and they're all great people. That's one of the things about the U.S. Army. I've never met a bad soldier.
Yeah. That's really cool. But right quick, how about the old cars? I mean, you're a big old car buff too. Have you got anything new in the stable?
And actually, no, I made a small transition the past week. My wife was okay with it, I think. I bought a little collection of old tractors, some old Oliver tractors, a John Deere B, and a International Cub. Oh. So, and they're
becoming a farmer now.
Yeah.
How about
I've
that?
always had a little farmer in me. I got my work boots and everything. Don't get me wrong. I can dress up and do this stuff too, but I'm good with the dirt.
Was it Larry that passed him on the house?
Yeah. You don't need that.
I'm just glad he remembers. I'm glad he remembers because he's got one coming.
Yeah. Ryan, the Ryan Newman Foundation, you actually have 3 areas you work in. We've talked about the pets, the outdoors, but the one thing that I thought was pretty intriguing was what you do with the Rich Vogler Scholarships Program, which actually I think at one time you were a recipient. Pretty cool deal there.
Yes, I was. My sister was, and at the time it was a $1,000 scholarship to go if you were involved in motorsports, any kind of motorsports. My sister was just a mechanic on our team, but she was a recipient of it. And basically, you apply it to your college, wherever your college is, and it helps to buy books, it helps to pay for college, and just a way to give back. Rich Vogler was a hero of mine. He could drive anything, anywhere, any place, and you know, he was the master of the outside groove, and nobody else had the guts to go up there. And just to you know, give back to his mom created the scholarship in memory of him after his tragic death in 1990, and it's special for me to be able to give back and help out and help with furthered education. You know, whether it's you know, going to college or a university or being part of the armed forces, it's all about having that furthered education.
Ryan, before we let you go, I want to say, too, last week we were all at Texas Motor Speedway, and after the tragedy at Fort Hood, I thought you did a fantastic job of representing the Army and being Army strong yourself, so thank you for that.
Oh, no problem. As we said then, our thoughts and prayers go out to those families and the friends and everybody that was involved and will be involved, because it's not something that you know, heals in the next week or two. It takes a lot of time, and you know, sometimes it never heals, but either way, our thoughts and prayers go out with those families. And you know, it's a part of life. It's unfortunate, things that happen, but how we work together as a team and family to get through it is what makes a difference.
All right, well, thanks for spending time with us.
And thank you for the tornado.
Thanks for the tornado.
Come on back. Bring them.
And speaking of the tornadoes, Rutledge should be full by now. He's backstage.
Yeah, Steve, the tornado blew through backstage, and they were delicious. It was great. I caught up with David Ruderman getting ready to come on the stage. Now, we mentioned Texas a little bit. You had kind of an interesting week at Texas, and I was with Jimmy Johnson last night at the Jimmy Jam, and someone asked about it, and he said, you know what? That David Ruderman has called me 13 or 14 times, checking in, making sure I'm okay. What a nice guy.
Well, I mean, you know, I made a big mistake. I think Sam Hornish took a lot of heat for that deal, and he shouldn't have. It was, in the end, it was basically my fault. I got into Sam and got him up into Jimmy, and you know, geez, it just sucked. It was a terrible deal. But Jimmy Johnson, you know, he was a quality individual, is a quality individual, and he was extremely cool about it. Wasn't happy about how everything went down, but extremely cool. You know, you know, he's a champion, and he acted like a champion, and I really appreciate it. It meant a lot to me. I mean, it could have gone either way, and he's a class act right down to the end.
I don't know if guys are trying to pick on you, but Ryan said if you guys want to just hang out and talk about Daytona, he said he's got tornadoes.
No, I'm trying to get that as far behind me as I can. I tell you what, that's one of the worst experiences of my life, walking up to Ryan Newman, because he's a pretty big guy.
You're telling me.
After you've wrecked his race car at Daytona for something really stupid.
I can laugh about it now.
Yeah, thank God. But it wasn't any fun. It was not any fun at all.
We love how fun you are and that you can joke about this stuff. We got a lot more Trackside Live coming up. Ryan, stay where you are, because I'll block him. I mean it. We got some more Trackside Live. Stay tuned.
Wipe All Wipers are the crew chief's choice for replacement of shop towels and rags around the garage area. And this time, we're going to catch up with Pat Tryson, last week's winner of the Crew Chief of the Race Award for Wipe All. Pat, outstanding job last week. Great cause and a terrific result.
Yeah, it was a great race for us. You know, we were able to stretch it there on fuel mileage, and you know, end up with a great day for the Miller Lite Dodge, and you know, so it was a good day.
Well, we come in here, the final two races. You guys still not mathematically out of this chase. You know, what have you got for them here this weekend at Phoenix?
You know, we've run really well here the last two races. We think we finished second and third, and Kurt really likes it here. So hopefully we can get a win. That's you know, we're going to go for wins the next 2 weeks and let the points fall where they fall. And if nothing else, we can at least try to get to second or third.
Pat, I got to at least say this. You know, a lot of people thought that, the two-car was not going to be competitive because of the fact you're going to be leaving this operation. But you guys have really, I think, stepped up and showed really what your character is all about as far as this team's concerned, and in particular yourself. And I think that's one reason why you got chose last week for the Wipe All Crew Chief of the Race Award.
Well, thanks. We got a really tight group, and that helps when guys like each other and they work together, and that's what we've done, and we've just stuck together this year. And thanks for all the white balls. We can never get enough of them.
Can't get enough of them. I mean, it's kind of like your team. They just keep on going and never quit working, and you guys are the same way.
Well, we had to use a lot of them last week to clean up all the beer we got on the car, so hopefully we'll do that again this week.
Well, we're going into Homestead here in a couple of weeks. Same kind of deal. Good luck for the rest of the season. And, folks, don't forget, we still got a great battle for the final championship between Darian Grubb and Chad Knaus.
Go right now to wipeall.com/speed and click on the speed button for a free box of Wipe All Wipers product and for the chance to win a VIP experience to next summer's Irwin Tools Night Race at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Now let's take a look back at race number 8 of the chase with our Inside Sprint Cup Mobile Moment.
Radio check 1 2. 10-4, got you. Check 1 2. I got you there. You got me okay? Got a copy. 10-4.
Green flag waves, and we're underway at Texas Motor Speedway.
right front suspension, right rear suspension. Looks like he was going to hit the wall. He's tore up, Mark. He's definitely going to the garage. He's tore up pretty good. I'd imagine the 48 will get back out there, but he is tore up extensively. Maybe that teach all the media a little lesson. Go back and read their articles they wrote this morning and have to redo them. Definitely will be a points race again now. We got to get something to hold all this together. I'm not gonna lie, this right here is a disaster. 99 still out there. He's the only one in the upper lane right now. Just wrecked, boys.
Spinning and hitting the outside wall. Together are Carl Edwards and Juan Pablo Montoya. Jeff Gordon spinning as well.
12 just blazed up, hit us again. Right side's killed, the back bumper's killed. He just lost it underneath you, saved it, came up and hit you, turned you around. Did he wreck? Oh yeah. Did you hit anything, buddy? No, I didn't hit anything. That was a damn impressive slide. You know how much this reminds me of a legend car race? What's that? Because I got my brother in my mirror just stalking me. Who's coming from behind? Anybody with fuel? We pitted last, so we got the most gas. And he goes 3.5 second lead. Use it all. Use it all. What does use it all mean? Use all the cushion you got. You want to finish on your back bumper. 18's up here saving all he can, man. Do the same. 4. Just needed a lap, right? 10-4. All we need is a lap here, bud. I'm out. Coming to you. I'm out. I'm out. It's out. Keep digging here. All right, now really start saving, because you got lots of cushion behind you. You got 8 seconds behind you. Yeah, baby. It's Miller time, baby. Face the beer. Woo! Way to go, guys. Awesome deal. Yeah, we just won some guy $1 million. Hey, remember, guys, drink the cold stuff, spray the warm stuff.
Kurt Busch's second win of 2009. Stay with us. Coming up, David Rudiman. He won earlier this year at Lowe's Motor Speedway in Charlotte. Joins us here on Trackside.
Inside Sprint Cup Mobile has been presented by Sprint. Follow the drama of the chase of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series with live race radio, stats, and in-car audio, all in real time with NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile, only from Sprint and only on the Now Network.
David Rudiman got his first Cup victory at the Coca-Cola 600 on Memorial Day weekend. He almost made the chase for the 2009 Sprint Cup. He drives the Aaron's Dream Machine, the 00 for Michael Waltrip Racing. Welcome David Rudiman to Trackside Live.
Did Ryan Newman have a word of prayer with you, young man?
Yeah, you guys just had to remind him at Daytona. And Ryan was right. He laughed right to the point where he punched me in the eye back there. So, I appreciate that. No, it was actually his idea. It worked pretty well.
I'm glad he still got a sense of humor.
Well, he does now. He didn't have that. But you know what? Speaking of stuff we need, I got you guys some Tums. And, you know, Sadler, I know you need these a bunch because working with these guys. But let me go ahead and pass them out because everybody can use little Tums every now and again.
So we had the tornadoes. Now we have Tums.
This has been a great show.
Synergy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, because, you know, we just announced at Texas last week, you know, Tums is going to be, you know, a sponsor for us. Up to 5, I mean, right at 5 races for next year. Excited about that. And I'm actually going to have an announcement tomorrow here about, you know, Best Western, one of Michael Waltrip Racing's, you know, longest running deals. Yep. Yeah, they've been with us a long time. They're going to have an announcement there tomorrow. So got a lot of good stuff going on.
David, where were you when I needed these back working with Daryl?
You probably needed a 55-gallon drum of those.
I mean, a lifetime supply right there. All the damage is already done. But, you know, you mentioned about what's going on, you know, new things kind of happening here as far as the 00 Michael Waltrip Racing. Right quick, how about the fact of this past year, working with the 47 car, having, you know, Marcus Ambrose kind of like an association with Michael Waltrip Racing, but more importantly, how much are you looking forward to having Martin Truex now as a teammate in 2010?
I mean, I think it's going to be a great combination. I think, you know, Michael picked, you know, Martin to be, you know, to drive the car, to drive the Napa Toyota. So I think it's a good fit, and along with Pat Tryson coming over, obviously, Pat sure did do a good job last week. Those guys, so really excited about it. Gonna miss having Michael around for sure, but hopefully we get some races in for Mikey, and Martin's gonna be a good addition. And like you were saying earlier, Ambrose has been a great teammate all year.
Can you understand him?
Yeah, the longer you're around him, the more you can understand him for sure.
Has he asked you, are you fizzed up?
He asked me a lot of stuff. I don't know if his stuff is one of them. He did turn me on to some Vegemite there.
Yeah, ask Rutledge about Vegemite.
Now I know why you got Tums.
That was a terrible experience. It really was.
David, we showed kind of the negative of Texas Motor Speedway for David Rubin, but the positive that I saw is you qualified 13th, but the minute the green flag came out, you were moving forward. You sat there and ran in the top 5 a big part of the night. Running second, just came up a little bit short on the fuel side of things.
Yeah, we did, and that's pretty disappointing. We had a great car, Riding Childers, and the guys did a great job. We had a good air machine all day, and just towards the end, we knew we were way short, and just keep.
What did you have to lose, though? What did you have to lose?
Exactly. You're not in a chase, and you got to go out there and try and put it all on the line and try to win the race, and we just came up short. And that's disappointing, but I'm really proud of my guys. And we've had good cars at Texas in the past, so that's one of my favorite racetracks.
David, we talked about the big first win at Lowe's Motor Speedway and the fact that you were pretty close in making the chase. But with just 2 to go now, can you look back and say that this season has been a success, or have you fallen short of what you might have thought were your personal goals or team goals?
If you had asked me at the beginning of the year, I would have said, yeah, that would be a success. But now, sitting here now, you want to consider it more of, I think we came up a little bit short on the end of the deal. And that's just how your priorities change throughout the year. You start out the year, you don't know what to expect. And as the season goes on, you're running well. You're like, well, we should get in the chase. And then when you don't get in the chase, you're just mad as heck. Even though last year you didn't even have a prayer of even seeing the chase. So, it just kind of, your priorities get messed up. And the more success you have, the more you want. And that's just how race car drivers are. Right?
Greedy in a good way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And a big difference was Rodney Childers, and you brought up his name earlier, who I think is one of the nicest guys and smartest guys in the garage. It seemed like you guys get better every year. I know we have 2 races left this year, but the way you ran at Texas and the way you've been qualifying, it's got to give your team just that much more optimism heading into next year.
It does. You know how a little bit of a couple of good runs at the end of the year, can help right through the offseason. If you have some bad races towards the end, it's hard to keep that momentum going. Rodney does a good job, and the good thing about it is no matter how much or how bad I'm yelling on the radio, he's always comes back with 10-4, man, which is his way of just saying shut up and drive the car, I think, most of the time.
Hey, did it work with y'all?
I heard that a bunch.
You got 10-4, man, a bunch.
I got 10-4, and the same monotone every time. Yeah, 10-4.
Very calm.
More with David Rudiman coming up. We want to ask you, when you dream, do you dream in speed? Introducing the Speed Dream Ride. You'll see new shows, old favorites, and have the chance to win an experience you never dreamed possible. The Speed Dream Ride is coming soon, presented by Castrol Edge. Find out more at speeddreamride.com. Some tickets remain for Championship Weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. Visit championshiptrack.com or call 1-866-409-RACE. And we are back with David Rudiman. And David, one of the things that I've really been pleased with over the last few years is all the charitable organizations and foundations that drivers have aligned themselves with. And I know you have an event coming up at the season's end.
Yeah, we have it's our annual event. I think we've been doing it for 5 or 6 years, and we have it in the Zephyr Hills. We actually have a golf tournament the Friday and Saturday after Thanksgiving. They have a charity auction on Friday, which is we got a lot of cool stuff: uniforms, helmets, sheet metal. Not all from my car, we have some other guys. We have a lot of guys give helmets. Tony Stewart's giving uniforms, and Casey Kane and Denny Hamlin, guys like that. Plus a lot of other sports memorabilia, jerseys, footballs, football helmets, that stuff. So we'll have that stuff on Friday night along with the dinner, and then the golf tournament will be on Saturday. And then we'll go down to East Bay Raceway in Gibson, Florida, Saturday night and run a 50-lap modified race. So it's a really good time.
Well, since we're not talking about racing right now, I want to keep it on. The commercials that you've been doing for Aaron's have been a lot of fun to watch and funny. The chicken wing sauce all over the face, was that original? They caught you at a bad time, or how did all that work?
They actually put that on there, and and as usual, every Aaron's commercial I've done, I don't ever get to say anything. I just have to sit there, which maybe they don't want me saying. Michael's always there, so he hogs up all the airtime. You know, if you guys can believe that.
And he produces the commercials.
Yeah, he does. And,
yeah.
you know, we have a script, and we show up there, and he looks at the script. He's like, well, this is just not going to work. And we go on. That's the way the folks at Aaron's are. They can shoot from the hip, and we have a good time. And, yeah, they put that stuff on there with a paintbrush. And I didn't realize barbecue sauce burns the longer you keep it on there. So, because I had to do that sleeping episode about 3 or 4 times, so I guess I couldn't quite get it right.
Well, I'm glad he brought up the commercials, and especially brought up the fact that Michael produces them. Why does he not give you a speaking part, other than the fact he is a Waltrip?
Well, that pretty much answers the whole deal right there. I think that you summed it up. We have a lot of good times, but Mike says, you know, we got the script and you're supposed to talk, David, but I don't think you're ready for that. So, but you can go over there and sleep and we'll barbecue sauce on you.
He lets his 12-year-old daughter speak, but he won't let David speak.
Oh, my gosh, Macy's had a great part. She's had way more verses in the deal than I've ever even thought of happened. So she did a great job, too. She did a great job, so I don't think I could ever do as good as she does.
They just want you to stand there and look good, right?
Well, they want me to stand there. I'm not sure looking good is going to work either.
Silence is gold.
Oh, you didn't make NASCAR's most beautiful list either?
Well, you know, funny you should mention that. My guys actually cut out one of my on my hero cards, cut my picture out and put it on there and took a picture of it. So I have my very own copy of it.
What are teammates for?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, more with David Rudiman coming up. We want to remind you that NASCAR race day will roar into Phoenix. Just 2 races remaining. Texas winner Kurt Busch will join them live, as well as Jimmy Johnson. NASCAR race day built by the Home Depot, live Sunday at 12:30 Eastern. NASCAR on Speed. Be there.
Trackside is presented by new Shell Nitrogen Enriched Gasolines. Brought to you in part by Go RVing. Go affordably. Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com today to get started on your road trip adventure. And by Wrangler, proud sponsor of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
Well, next weekend we'll be at the Homestead Miami Speedway. 2 big editions of Trackside. Friday night at 10:30. And then Saturday night again as we get ready for the championship race on Ford Championship Weekend, 7:30 on Saturday night. Back with David Rudiman.
Make sure you write down in your notebook there are 2 shows.
I got it right now.
And we do have a conference call, just one conference call.
Sometimes he doesn't show up, you know.
Sorry.
But you were talking about your golf tournament and all the stuff going on. What else do you do during the off season? And is Christmas a big time around the Rudiman household?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, anytime you have a kid or, you know, a 7-year-old, it brings Christmas back around again to the point where it's really, really fun. So I have a lot of good, you know, a lot of fun with that. But I mean, I just work in our shop and you know, work on dirt cars for the old man, and that's pretty much all I do. Just that's relaxing to me, going there and, you know, building a car and you know, working on the thing, and get my buddy Brian Patty up there. We put some bodies on some stuff and some Turner sheet metal, and it's a lot of fun. So I mean, you know, it's always got to be something with racing. I'm not really qualified to do anything. I can't hunt. I never even shot a gun in my entire life, so I couldn't hit anything.
Neither can Jeff. I'm sorry, I forgot who's next.
My elk's bigger than yours.
Yeah, it is.
You know, David, you're finishing up your 3rd full season at Michael Waltrip Racing. In fact, the Daytona 500 in February will be your 100th career start. You talked about one of your teammates, Marco Sambros. You have a new teammate coming in 2010, Martin Truex Jr. It's going to be a little strange not seeing Michael Waltrip out there every single week and racing with him, I would say.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I mean, tough for me as a teammate, and because he's my boss and he's the guy that gave me the opportunity. You know, Darrell Waltrip gave me the first opportunity, but then Michael gave me a shot to go, you know, Cup racing, something I didn't know I'd ever have the opportunity to do. You know, he gave it to a guy he didn't, you know, nobody else was going to take a chance on for sure. And heck, they couldn't even say my last name correctly. So it was just one of those deals where he's done a lot for me, and I'm pretty sad to see he may not have an opportunity to go full-time racing next year. But Michael will still be around. He'll still be having a good time, and he'll be behind the wheel quite a bit, I think.
Jeff, you were asking David what he does in the offseason. He came in last week to do NASCAR Race Hub in the Charlotte studios.
Yeah.
And, you know, David, I've known him for a long time. He used to be a really nice guy, and he was really tense and stressed out. And he goes, I got a lot going on. I got a kid. I got to feed horses. I'm building cars for my old man. He was just completely.
At least it's not a 30-year-old horse like he at one time.
No. He still owns that.
Still that one.
Bitter. He's bitter.
Don't bring that. That's the best horse I got, though.
That was such a good experience. He bought another one.
Come see me. I will get you a good horse. And, you know, speaking of horses, I got a bone to pick with you.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
That's right, with you, right here.
Why is that?
Last week on Victory Lane, you looked over at Kurt Busch and said, you know what, you look good in your cowboy hat. Hammond looks like Howdy Doody. That really right there messes me up right now as far as you busting on me.
Why did he point at me when he said Kurt Busch's name?
I don't know, Elliot.
Howdy Doody.
Howdy Doody right here.
Thank you, David Ruderman.
Thank you.
Getting out of hand.